taste is the Pinterest, because they are the best.
Hello and welcome to News Review, the programme where we show you how to use the language from the latest news stories in your everyday English. Hi, I'm Neil. Joining me is Catherine. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Neil.
So what's our story today?
So today we have a story about a large animal which is in great danger.
Okay, well, let's find out some more from this BBC World Service News Bulletin.
A new report says Gabon has lost 80% of its elephant population over the past decade. Researchers in the United States say that about 25,000 of the pachyderms have been slaughtered.
So, a story from Africa there, and the elephant population of the country of Gabon has gone down by 80% in the last 10 years. Now, this is happening because of illegal hunting, which researchers say is responsible for the death of 25,000 elephants.
Okay, very serious story. You've been looking at it online, the various news websites, and what are the words that keep coming up?
Okay, so suitably serious vocabulary is coming up, and we have carnage, poachers, and decimate.
Carnage, poachers, and decimate. So, that first word, carnage, how's that appearing in the headlines?
Okay, so let's go to the BBC News website. The headline here is Carnage in Gabon's Elephant Sanctuary.
Okay, so carnage, meaning the killing of large numbers of people or animals.
Yes, and it is a word that describes or makes you think of a really nasty, violent scene. We're talking about a lot of death, a lot of destruction, body parts, blood. Carnage is a word we use to describe things like war and natural disasters, earthquakes, for example. So it's a really kind of a word, a horrible word, really, to describe a lot of death and destruction.
Yeah, and it's being used literally here because of the deaths of these animals,
yes,
in this case. We also can use it more generally to describe a situation where there's a lot of destruction.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about death, but we can use it in a sort of serious sense to describe something that might happen in the world of business, for example, or in the world of work. You have a meeting where everybody's arguing and shouting. You could describe that meeting as carnage.
Yeah, or you could say that there was carnage on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there was death and destruction.
No.
It means that there was a large amount of damage or disruption.
Yeah, maybe a lot of people lost a lot of money on the stock exchange one day. You could say that, you could describe that as carnage, and that's a completely acceptable use of the word. It doesn't show any disrespect to a real death situation. It's just another way to use the word, and you can even use it in a kind of quite light-hearted way sometimes to describe a situation that's kind of out of control and quite messy.
Yeah, and you hear that quite often, and it isn't disrespectful.
Not at all. For example, I hear you had a birthday in your house.
Yes,
recently, yeah?
small children birthday party.
Oh, really? Little girls?
25 kids in my house. There was laughter and
cake,
crying and screaming and cake and
balloons,
games, and mainly noise.
Right.
Noise. Yeah, you could describe that as carnage.
Carnage.
It was carnage, but there was...
No one got hurt.
Nobody got hurt. There were no bodies or anything.
Yeah.
A different sort of meaning.
Okay, cool.
Next, what is your headline?
Okay, so now let's move on to the Huffington Post, and we have the headline, Poachers have all but emptied the sanctuary of forest elephants.
Okay, poachers, people who catch and kill animals illegally to eat or sell.
Yeah. And yes, these people have gone onto this area of forest which is protected.
Yeah.
They've gone on without permission.
It's not their property.
Not their property. They don't have a right to these animals. They've gone on with weapons. They've gone on illegally. They've killed the animals, and they've taken either the whole animal or the body parts away, either to eat or sell. They don't have permission. It's against the law. Those people are poachers, and the verb is to poach.
Yeah, and it can be, again, used in a more sort of light-hearted way.
Yes.
Meaning to kind of steal in a slightly cheeky fashion.
Yes, it's not disrespectful to use this word in a light-hearted way, and let's talk about the BBC Learning English Football League.
Yes.
Of which I'm captain of team Catherine United.
Yes, I'm Neil City.
And I discovered a new player for my team. team, Rob, who has lots of many talents, and one of them is football. I realised he was great. I got him on my football team.
Yeah.
I told you about this,
Yes,
Neil.
you made the mistake of telling me.
Well, I trusted you, let's be fair. And what happened next week when we had a game of football? What happened?
Well, I poached him.
He was playing on your
He
team.
was playing for Neil City, and we won.
And I'm not happy about it.
And he scored the winning goal.
Neil, I won't be forgetting this in a hurry. So to poach can mean to take a player or someone with talent
Or an idea.
that's for somebody else and claim it for yourself. It's not necessarily illegal, but it's not very nice thing to do.
No, it's cheeky, isn't it?
You're a poacher, Neil.
Thank you very much. One further meaning of the word poach, which you may know already, has a very different meaning.
Most definitely. In a cooking context, if you get a little bit of very hot water, not like really boiling, but simmering, and you put something like an egg or a fish, and they cook quite gently in water, that is to poach.
Yeah.
Like a poached egg, Neil?
I do like a poached egg. It's quite a skill, isn't it? Are you a skilled egg poacher?
I'm terrible at it. Can't do it at all.
Okay, we've got one more headline.
All right, and this time we are looking at UPI.com. Their headline is Gabon's elephants are being decimated by poachers.
Okay.
My photo taste is the Pinterest, because they are the best. Flick to link, a link to flick.
Every summer, my family and I travel across the world, 3,000 miles away, to the culturally diverse country of India. Now, India is a country infamous for its scorching heat and humidity. For me, the only relief from this heat is to drink plenty of water. Now, while in India, my parents always remind me to only drink boiled or bottled water. Because unlike here in America, where I can just turn on a tap and easily get clean, potable water, in India the water is often contaminated. So my parents have to make sure that the water we drink is safe. However, I soon realized that not everyone is fortunate enough to enjoy the clean water we did. Outside my grandparents' house in the busy streets of India, I saw people standing in long lines under the hot sun, filling buckets with water from a tap. I even saw children who looked the same age as me, filling up these clear plastic bottles with dirty water from streams on the roadside. Watching these kids forced to drink water that I felt was too dirty to touch changed my perspective on the world. This unacceptable social injustice compelled me to want to find a solution to our world's clean water problem. I wanted to know why these kids lacked water, a substance that is essential for life, and I learned that we are facing a global water crisis. Now, this may seem surprising as 75% of our planet is covered in water, but only 2.5% of that is fresh water. And less than 1% of Earth's freshwater supply is available for human consumption. With rising populations, industrial development, and economic growth, our demand for clean water is increasing, yet our freshwater resources are rapidly depleting. According to the World Health Organization, 660 million people in our world lack access to a clean water source. Lack of access to clean water is a leading cause of death in children under the age of 5 in developing countries, and UNICEF estimates that 3,000 children die every day from a water-related disease. So after returning home one summer in 8th grade, I decided that I wanted to combine my passion for solving the global water crisis with my interest in science. So I decided that the best thing to do would be to convert my garage into a laboratory. Actually, at first, I converted my kitchen into a laboratory, but my parents didn't really approve and kicked me out. I also read a lot of journal papers on water-related research, and I learned that currently in developing countries, something called solar disinfection, or SODIS, is used to purify water. In SODIS, clear plastic bottles are filled with contaminated water and then exposed to sunlight for 6 to 8 hours. The UV radiation from the sun destroys the DNA of these harmful pathogens and decontaminates the water. Now, while SODIS is really easy to use and energy efficient, as it only uses solar energy, it's really slow, as it can take up to 2 days when it's cloudy. So in order to make the SODIS process faster, this new method called photocatalysis has recently been used. So what exactly is this photocatalysis? Let's break it down. Photo means from the sun, and a catalyst is something that speeds up a reaction. So what photocatalysis is doing is it's just speeding up the solar disinfection process. When sunlight comes in and strikes a photocatalyst like TiO2 or titanium dioxide, it creates these really reactive oxygen species like superoxides, hydrogen peroxide, and hydroxyl radicals. These reactive oxygen species are able to remove bacteria and organics and a whole lot of contaminants from drinking water. But unfortunately, there are several disadvantages to the way photocatalytic SODIS is currently deployed. See, what they do is they take the clear plastic bottles and they coat the inside with this photocatalytic coating. But photocatalysts like titanium dioxide are actually commonly used in sunscreens to block UV radiation. So when they're coated on the inside of these bottles, they're actually blocking some of the UV radiation and diminishing the efficiency of the process. Also, these photocatalytic coatings are not tightly bound to the plastic bottle, which means they wash off and people end up drinking the catalyst. While TiO2 is safe and inert, it's really inefficient if you keep drinking the catalyst, because then you have to continue to replenish it even after a few uses. So my goal was to overcome the disadvantages of these current treatment methods and create a safe, sustainable, cost-effective, and eco-friendly method of purifying water. What started off as an 8th grade science fair project is now my photocatalytic composite for water purification. The composite combines titanium dioxide with cement. The cement-like composite can be formed into several different shapes, which results in an extremely versatile range of deployment methods. For example, you could create a rod that can easily be placed inside water bottles for individual use, or you could create a porous filter that can filter water for families. You can even coat the inside of an existing water tank to purify larger amounts of water for communities over a longer period of time. Now, over the course of this, my journey hasn't really been easy. I didn't have access to a sophisticated laboratory. I was 14 years old when I just started, but I didn't let my age deter me in my interest in pursuing scientific research and wanting to solve the global water crisis. See, water isn't just the universal solvent. Water is a universal human right. And for that reason, I'm continuing to work on this science fair project from 2012 to bring it from the laboratory into the real world. And this summer, I founded Catalyst for World Water, a social enterprise aimed at catalyzing solutions to the global water crisis. Alone, a single drop of water can't do much. But when many drops come together, they can sustain life on our planet. Just as water drops come together to form oceans,
Flick to link, a link to flick.
that we all...
My photo taste is the Pinterest, because the art,